In the traditional spirit of American Legion Mountaineer Boy States, I am very proud and pleased to introduce our introducer this morning, my esteemed friend, our forensics coordinator, Mr. Kyle Garrett.
All right, good morning, Boy State. How's it going, everybody? Doing great? So your speaker this morning is the daughter of a World War II veteran, West Virginia's 28th and 30th Governor, Arch Moore. And in 1996, she was elected to the West Virginia House of Delegates. In 2001, she was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, and then in 2015 became West Virginia's first female United States Senator, winning the majority of 55 counties. Currently, she serves as the chair of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee and the chair of the Senate Republican Policy Committee. So I introduce to you one of West Virginia's finest, United States Senator from West Virginia, Senator Shelley Capito.
Thank you. Am I on here? Thank you all, Boy Staters. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here in the morning. This is good because normally I'm here when I get to drop by at noon. And so I want to say thank you to Kyle for introducing me. He left out one of the most important things in his bio in that he worked for me for several years. So thank you, Kyle. He's now teaching science, middle school science. So he's contributing a lot to his community. It's great to be here with Robbie and Matt again, and many of you who I've met through the years. I'll give you a little secret. When you're singing the Boys State song, I happened to glance into the kitchen and they were dancing to the Boys State song. So it seems like everybody's primed to have a good day here at Boys State. So I just want to tell you, first of all, how proud I am of all of you. I've gotten to meet probably this side of the room. I sort of shook hands on the way in. Many of you from all different areas of the state. Of course, I live in Kanawha County, but I was actually born and raised in Marshall County, and I found somebody, if there's only one, I don't know, but one from that little town of Glendale, which I'm from. So if he'd raise his hand. There he is. Yeah. Are there any other? Yay. He made me feel good because I asked him, I said, do you know where my parents lived and the home where I was born and raised and stayed for many, many years, and he did, and he said it looks great. So thank you, Brody, for making me feel good about Glendale. As you know, there's a couple other famous people from Glendale. There is my father, who was a former governor and always came to Boy State. And for those folks who were here a long time Boy Stater, how did he come? On a helicopter. Yes, he did. He loved coming in on that helicopter. Right in the middle here, right? Yes, he did. He loved that. And he loves the patriotism, the Legion, everything about Boy State. But what he loved the most, I think, and was seeing the young leaders of tomorrow for our state and our nation. And that's what I really like to see as well. Also in Glendale, Brad Paisley, another very famous Glendalian. And lastly, which you might not know about, is Lady Gaga's grandparents lived in Glendale for their entire life. So we got a lot going on in that little town like we do all across the nation. So I just drove in. I left. Yesterday was an interesting day for me, and I get to do a lot of very interesting things. But yesterday was different. I was actually in the East Room of the White House with the president and a lot of other people as he was signing a bill that I actually had worked on. And I've been doing this for quite some time, as Kyle mentioned in my biography, but getting to go to the White House and see the president, no matter who the president is, sign a piece of legislation you worked on is pretty cool. And so we got some great pictures from the day and enjoyed being at the White House. So the best part of my week is when I'm driving back over the mountains or flying over the mountains to get home. I live in Charleston. And I actually stopped in Morgantown and then drove down here. And after I leave here, I'm going to see those Girl Staters. So are there any messages for the Girl Stater? Which one's best, Boy State or Girl State? What do we think? Yes, I knew you had. I knew you had voices there. So anyway, it's you know what I thought this morning too, as I woke up to drive down here. Every day's different in my life, and you know what? Every day's different in your life too. So I wake up this morning. I don't know if you guys look at the news or see the news, but last night, over the night, something in the international sphere happened that's going to influence your lives and my life as well, and that is Israel took out the nuclear facilities in Iran last night with 200 bombers. And they also took out their senior leadership in their military. And this is the kind of thing, I use that as an example to say the world is changing very fast. There are very volatile parts of the world. Certainly the Middle East always. We see what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. We see China amassing power all the time and looking to take over parts of the world and become the superior country. And this is where you all come in. We, the United States, are the leader, the supreme power in the country, the lover of freedom and democracy, the ones who care about human rights, the ones that go across continents such as Africa and others to treat and to help cure AIDS and help with humanitarian assistance in a tornado or a tsunami, that help to protect freedoms in other countries. So we need to remain and be the legacy leader of this world, to have our values be the predominant values of fairness and freedom and acceptance and willingness to give. I mean, I've been to Afghanistan probably 8 times. If I were in Afghanistan right now as a woman, I wouldn't be permitted to leave the house. I would have, if I did leave the house, I guess if I ever did leave the house, which I would on occasion, I think, I'd have to be fully covered, and my daughters would not be allowed to go to school. There's oppression all around the world. And so that's what I think you're learning here at Boys State, that not just the people that served before you, people like my dad. My dad was 19. He left Moundsville, West Virginia. He got on a ship. He went to Germany, or he ended up in Germany to protect the freedoms of the European continent from the brutal oppression of a dictator, Adolf Hitler. He didn't know anybody in Europe. He didn't know anybody in that part of the Europe. He probably didn't know anybody outside of Marshall County at that point in his life. And what happened to him? Within 10 days of being there, he was shot in the face and taken off the battlefield, and then went on to serve his country and love his country and love coming to Boys State and love getting to see faces. So I really think the patriotism and the leadership that you learn here is something maybe you learn it fleetingly, and I saw you raise the flag and salute the flag, and it makes me feel so good because there's so many forces at work that are coming so fast at all of you. And now with the lines of communications that you have and the way that you learn news, when my dad was shot on the battlefield in 1944, my grandmother probably didn't even hear about it for several weeks because of the communication. Now you'd hear about that instantaneously. And that's a good thing, but it also carries a burden, I think. So the patriotism and leadership that you're learning is something that you're going to carry through your life. Last night, or actually this morning as I was leaving the hotel, I ran into a man whose son had been to Boys State probably 10 years ago. And he asked me where I was going. I said, I'm going to Boys State. And this is what he said to me. My son keeps up with 2 sets of friends. One set was he went to the Governor's Academy. Has anybody gone to Governor's Academies here? Probably, yes. That set of friends that he met from all across the state. And the other people that he keeps up with are the friends that he met from all around the state, from Boys State. So these are lifelong friendships that you're forming. You may not think about it now, but you're going to run into them in your lives because you're going to be not just leaders, but you're going to be able to meet your friends and familiar faces that you see that you've met in Boys State. As a matter of fact, just this week, I ran into a guy from South Charleston over in Washington, and he goes, oh, I went to Boys State with your son Moore. That was 20 years ago. So see, he still remembers that. So remember that Boys State is a very special place, forming friendships, values, and tools to take to you into your future. So, as your senator, one of the things I get to do, and I've already met some potential students here, is appoint people to the military academies, nominate people, men and women, to our military academies. That's the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy, West Point, and also the Merchant Marines. For those of you interested in Coast Guard, please contact our office. You do not need a nomination to go to the Coast Guard Academy, but it's, I think, a very wise move to contact your senators and your House of Representatives. Anybody who's interested, we have a very active career day. Todd Gunter, who's here with me today, said that when you do your career day later today, we have a table with information on how to apply for those nominations. Hopefully you're already on your way if this is what you're interested to. But Hayden's getting ready in 2 weeks. Your former governor, or no, your present, former, is he former? Former governor, your former governor is getting ready to head to the Air Force Academy, and I am proud to have been able to nominate Hayden Hodge to go to the Air Force Academy. So let's give him a round of applause. So make sure that you contact our office, make sure that you contact Senator Justice's office, make sure that you contact either Congressman Moore or Congressman Miller, because I recommend, and we recommend, that you get as many nominations as you can. In other words, Justice and I can nominate the same person if we have room, or if he wants to nominate somebody else and I have room for somebody else, I can nominate that other student. So we try to coordinate a little bit, and the same thing with your Congressmen and Congresswoman Miller. The other thing I would say is, if you say to yourself, I don't want to go anywhere but the Naval Academy, that's all I want to do, I recommend that you cross-apply, because a lot of the academies do have semesters at, like if Hayden's over at Air Force Academy, he may have an opportunity to go Naval Academy for a semester. So there are opportunities to be in the space you want, and really, you will be setting your future on fire if you go to one of these academies. That the future is very big and broad for those who go to one of the service academies. So I'll tell you a little story about that. I like to tell stories. I was in a helicopter in Iraq, a Black Hawk helicopter. As a congressional member, you go and visit the troops. This is when we had active troops in Iraq. And I had to put on the flak gear and the head gear and all that kind of stuff. Could barely walk. I had everything on, get in, and they passed me a note in the helicopter. And I thought, well, I've probably put something on backwards or wrong, and they don't want to correct me through the microphone. They're just passing me a note to tell me that I need to readjust my equipment a little bit. Well, I was very wrong, because the note said, I was a congresswoman at the time. Congresswoman, my name is Daniel Krieger. You appointed me to the Naval Academy 5 years ago. I'm flying this helicopter today. And I mean, literally, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, him, David Krieger, flying me. He's still an active member of the U.S. Navy, and he's made us very, very proud. So West Virginians are everywhere, and that gets me to the last part of my talk with you to here today. I'm born and raised, you heard me, I'm born and raised West Virginian. I love our state. It was beautiful this morning coming down, seeing the fog lifting on the mountains. There's just nothing like it in my world. And whether you leave here or not, you're going to have that portion of your heart is always going to be a part of West Virginia, always. But you know what? Think about staying. Think about staying here and being a part of our future. Our state is growing. We are, I think, at a point where we need young people, young minds, young STEM experts, young folks that can take us not technologically, but also as a community to the place where we know West Virginia can and will be. So I encourage you as your United States Senator to think about that as you're moving through your lives. I know many of you are going to be enlisting, many of you are going to be going to college, but before that you're going to complete your senior year in high school. It's a glorious time, I think, for young men and young women in high school to have that last year with your friends, your family, in a place that you love. And you're never going to lose that. You're going to, there's probably people in here thinking right now, oh, right, sure, I'm going to really miss home. I can't wait to get out. I know a lot of people think like that. I can't wait to get out. You get out in about 3 or 4 years, you're going to say, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home. And home is where those country roads that we have will always bring you home. And it is an honor and a privilege for me to be the first woman senator, to be the 45th woman senator ever to serve our country, to be the person that you send to Washington to represent you in the halls of, be one of 100 people, and to be in the most powerful body, in the most powerful nation at a very critical time in our nation. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the pleasure and the honor of being able to address you all. You're great. Love you. Have a good time. Go Boy State. I did forget one thing I intended to say. As the daughter of a former governor, I must recognize the new governor, William Northeast. Congratulations and have a good term. Thank you.
So, up here on the stage, we have a coin for our Senator Capito. It's one of your Boy State Challenge coins. So in recognition of her service and her coming to speak with you guys this morning, we would, on behalf of the American Legion Mountaineer Boy State, we'd like to present you with this challenge coin. Thank you.